Hey bookaholics, welcome to another video. So today is going to be a bit of a different video. Usually I talk about like all book stuff, but I was not always a reader. I started avidly reading after Twilight, as I've said before. I did read before that, but what I was very, very obsessed with, like I've always been obsessed with stories. I absolutely love stories, like even if it's just like a story in an episode or a whole movie or whatever, I'm obsessed with stories. And as it's already revealed kind of through that little introduction, I loved movies and TV shows and all that fun stuff. And some of the things that really like just attached themselves to me was when I was like younger. So I want to talk about some of my, like whenever I think about them, I feel very nostalgic because it was when I was very young and I just loved watching these shows and seeing how their stories progressed. So I just want to talk about some of those very nostalgic shows that I used to watch. Not too many movies, but it's like a series of movies, and I'll get to that, you'll understand what I mean. It's pretty much like watching a TV show, but most of these are TV shows. Let me start with some of the first ones I absolutely just fell in love with because I just love their stories. So the first one, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo was my absolute favorite cartoon that I loved to watch when I was young. Like some people, they're like Bugs Bunny or anything like that. No, Scooby-Doo was my life when I was young because I just absolutely loved it. I've always wanted to be a writer. Like that's been my goal for a while. One of the first times I realized that was through Scooby-Doo, where I wrote an entire, like, you know how Scooby-Doo has like their own little novels too? I wrote one. I totally wrote one and I made a little cover for it and everything, and I made up a villain and I made up all what they went through, and I ended it with, I would have got away with it too if it weren't for these stupid kids and their dumb dog. Totally wrote that in there because it has to have that line. If it doesn't, it's not Scooby-Doo. So Scooby-Doo was like, oh my god, I loved it so very much. My favorite cartoon ever. Now the second one, I was obsessed with this as well. It was like the only anime that I actually liked watching when I was young. It was because my brother absolutely loved this show when we were growing up, and I'm the youngest, my brother's the oldest, so I followed him around. I did what he wanted to do all the time, and I fell in love with what he really liked, and he loved watching Dragon Ball Z, like so much that every time an episode would come on, we would record it because we wanted to watch it again and again. We had every single episode recorded on tapes. We had, oh my god, like there was like 13 tapes just full of recorded Dragon Ball Z shows. It was, oh my god. And he actually got me, when I was young, got me into doing exercising and like push-ups and doing like lifts and stuff. He was doing it, so I was doing it, and I was the second strongest of our family, I swear, when I was young, because I worked out with my brother whenever we watched Dragon Ball Z and even when we weren't. But oh my god, so obsessed with Dragon Ball Z when I was young, and I was kind of embarrassed by it because, I don't know, just like something that other kids weren't doing, at least not that I knew of, because I didn't talk about it with my friends or anything. I just like doing it mostly because like my sisters, they did not care about Dragon Ball Z at all. They thought we were nerds and that the show was stupid and all this kind of stuff. So I didn't really broadcast it much, so I just didn't really talk about it, and I just don't really talk about the time where I was obsessed with Dragon Ball Z. But it's still like a nostalgic TV show for me because it was a time when my brother and I were just really close before he moved to college, before he moved for university, and yeah, it was a good time in my life when I was just like obsessed with the story of Goku and Gohan and all the Z fighters, and I loved it so much. I still kind of watch it every once in a while when I feel that like nostalgia a bit, and I'm like, I kind of want to watch it. I just want to watch a couple of episodes and just get that feeling over with, and I do that every once in a while still, even though I'm, 23 and I was obsessed with it when I was like 7 or 8 or 10. I can't remember how old I was, but it was around that time before I became like a preteen, teenager kind of thing. So that's the second one that I got obsessed with in TV shows when I was young, and I still has a place in my heart for me. The next one, also a cartoon that I absolutely love now is growing up, and I still love it. Like, it's still going. I don't really watch many of the new ones, but I still absolutely love this, and that's The Simpsons. The Simpsons are great. Like, I love it. Like, it's so surprising that they're still coming up with new things to put out. Like, they're like the 25th season or something. I don't even know. I think they're actually past that. I think they're almost to the 30th or whatever. I don't even know. But they are still going, and I think they're signed up for this next coming year too, and it's just like, it's a never-ending cycle, and I just love it because The Simpsons are great. I love their dysfunctional family and how they just like never grow up, and it never changes, but there's always something new and always something funny, and it's just great. I remember when the movie came out. That was on my brother's birthday, and he paid for us to go because I wanted to go see the Simpsons movie so much. It came out July 27th, 2007. I still remember. That was hilarious. I went to the movie to go see it with my brother, I can't remember who all went. It was my brother, me, my sister Jamie, I'm not too sure if my other sister Stephanie came, and someone else. But we all went to go see the movie on my brother's birthday. He paid, and oh my god, it was hilarious. I laughed so hard. My brother has a very distinctive laugh, and we couldn't all sit together because the theater was packed. Absolutely packed. So we had to sit separately. My brother was sitting somewhere else. During the movie, I could hear him laugh, and it was great. Oh my god, it was so great. I loved it so much. I still have the movie, and I have a few seasons. No, I have like 13 seasons of them. I still watch them every once in a while, but The Simpsons was like a thing our family watched together, and it was just great. It was a fun time growing up with The Simpsons coming out new and kind of enjoying it with my family, and I really loved it, and it was just something we all could bond with through that because it was just constantly coming out while I was growing up, and it's still coming out, and I just love how they're still coming up with new things, and I just love The Simpsons. So it was just something I grew up with watching because it was coming out before I was born, it was coming out after I was born, and it was coming out still as I'm growing up, and just part of my life now. So quite a nostalgic kind of show for me now. So the next TV show I really loved watching, and this was with my sister, my older sister. My brother and my other sister didn't really care for this show, but my older sister and I just loved it so very much. We watched it whenever it was new, and when it was rerunning, we watched now the new ones that are coming out on Netflix, and the one I'm talking about is Full House. Absolutely loved Full House. It was such a corny show. That was some of the things that my brother and my other sister didn't care for because it was just so very corny. My older sister and I, we just loved it so very much, and so many of my classmates also loved it. I really am disappointed with how the original series ended. Like, it ended on like kind of like a cliffhanger where Michelle has amnesia and then she gets better, and then it feels like it's gonna continue, but it ends there and you have no idea what happens. The new one, Fuller House, I'm really liking it too, but I'm just like, I want Michelle to come in, but I really doubt she will. But I'm really liking seeing all of the family back together, and I'm loving seeing that. But Full House, so nostalgic for me because it was just something I grew up with watching, and it was something my sister and I did together. It was such a good time because as the DJ and Stephanie and Michelle were growing up, I was growing up too, and we were just learning stuff, and it was just such a fun thing to watch, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm so happy I grew up with that. Like, I wasn't one who really watched any like the Liz McGuire or Hannah Montana or any family shows like that, but I did watch Full House because I loved it so very much, and it was so good. So that is definitely one that I am very nostalgic for. I watch it sometimes. It's not on Netflix, so I get to watch it anytime I want now. But it's such a good time for me because I miss that time where you can watch those shows that have like not like drama that teenage shows have. They just have little corny little things going on. It's just so cute, and I miss being able to enjoy that just wholeheartedly and not really having to have that drama and all that serious stuff come out through the shows. Just having just a simple little show, and I miss being able to enjoy those as much as I did Full House. Such a good show, such a good theme song, and it just reminds me of the time when things were great and there was no responsibility and no growing up stuff and nothing to worry about but making sure I was home in time to watch Full House, and pretty much it. Such a simple time being just young and not really caring and just having no worries. Miss that time, and Full House is that time. Now, next one. Now again, I have not read the books, so I don't have that same nostalgia that other people have when they read the books and they can read again and all that, but I have the movies, and it's such a great thing to watch because I grew up with Harry Potter. Even though I didn't read it, I still grew up because the first time I watched the first movie was when I was in grade 1. I had a birthday thing and people came over, and Harry Potter is the movie we watched for my birthday. We rented it, which that's a thing that doesn't exist anymore, besides like those little kiosks that you can rent movies that way, and like online you can rent movies, but you can't actually go to like a store and rent a movie, which I miss that because then you're actually like actively doing something to go pick a movie, but whatever. But we did rent the movie for my birthday, and I remember one person at my birthday party, they said Harry Potter is gonna be such a stupid movie, it's gonna fail. Like, we watched it, everyone freaking loved the movie and we're in love with it, and so was I loved it so very much. We were young and we grew up with Harry Potter, so it was nice to watch something that was Harry Potter. And I just remember that one friend saying this movie was gonna be horrible, and boy was she wrong, because it was freaking amazing and the best thing I ever watched. Loved it so much, and I still love it so very much. I watched those movies over and over and over again. The last time I did it was, I can't remember if I did it again, but watched Fantastic Beasts in the theater, came out, it was like Harry Potter marathon, here we come. I had to watch it and I did, and I loved it still. Absolute favorite series ever, like favorite movies ever. So that is one that I don't think I'll ever get sick of them ever. They're so great. Like everything else, I grew up with it, and I still freaking love it. The Harry Potter theme song, oh my god, it's so nostalgic. Like seriously, every time I hear it, like, oh, my childhood, and it's so sad the movies are done. That theme song is freaking sick, and it matches Harry Potter so well. They did that freaking awesomely, and you know what, let's say this word for now and we'll go with it. Next one that I absolutely just love is Friends. Friends is my favorite, absolute favorite sitcom show ever. Like, I watch that series at least once a year. Like, at least. Sometimes I've watched it twice in a year, and it's ageless. I swear, I laugh every time. No matter how many times I've watched it, no matter how many times I know exactly what's coming. Like, I know line per line. Even when it's like a funny line, I know it by heart. I laugh because it's just, oh my god, it's so funny. Like, the writing is amazing that you doesn't matter how many times you watched it. Doesn't matter. It's funny no matter what, because the delivery of the lines and everything, it just makes it perfect that even though you know it's coming, even though I know exactly what happens in every freaking episode, it's still freaking hilarious, and I just love it so much. It will be my favorite sitcom of all time for the rest of my life because it's just that perfect. I have every single season in the series, and I watch it again at least once a year. My sister's actually re-watching it now, and I'm still laughing my ass off whenever I kind of join in, whenever she's around and she's watching. Still laugh out loud so often, and the lines, like one episode when Ross and Rachel, after she writes the 18-page paper and they're fighting, and I can say every word of their fight, like every word, and I still laugh. like, I still laugh so hard. Like, I grew up with that as well, and like the songs that come up, like With or Without You, that's like the main song that comes up the most often. It just reminds me of Friends all the time, and like the theme song is so nostalgic too. But also, like, I remember when the season was ending, it was 2004. I was obsessed with this show, and this was the first show that I watched from the beginning that was ending for me. It was ending, and it was heartbreaking. And they had this like hour-long thing before the last episode. It was pretty much just like the cast talking about how much they're gonna miss the show and things like that. And I recorded that. I cry every time when like I watched that. I recorded and I watched it again and again, and I cried every time. The last episode, I cry all the time because it's ending for me again. Even though I know what happens, it's ending again. It's not continuing. I want a Friends reunion, and it's never going to happen. I know that, but I still want it. Friends is my absolute favorite. Monica and Chandler, my favorite, absolute favorite couple. Chandler's my favorite character, and I just love it all so much. Like, there's parts that I just can't wait to get to, like Chandler and Monica finally getting together. Like, it's so great. I love it so much. But also just like the build up towards it, like when they go to Phoebe's friend's cabin and Chandler is like trying to convince Monica that he'd be a good person to date, and it's just so funny because you know they're gonna end up together eventually, but Monica's like, I'll never date you, and it's perfect. It's great. I just love it so very much. Next one. So this one I didn't actually like follow as it was coming out because it was coming out when I was just like a little too young for this TV show. It was CW, and my older sister absolutely loved it, but I just never really got into it. I knew about it and I kind of knew what was going on, but never really got into it. But my sister ended up buying the seasons, and that's when I started watching it, and I loved it so much. But it still feels nostalgic for me because it was during a time when there was no cell phones, and like there was just like their movies and stuff, but you had to rent them or anything like that, and it feels nostalgic watching it because it was a time when I was growing up when I was young, and it was that time when there was no cell phones and you had to figure out what to do without your phones or anything. You had to actually, go outside and hang out with friends, like what you should be doing, but that's kind of not part of our era anymore. But this one was Dawson's Creek. Now, Dawson's Creek is such a fun little teen show to watch because it starts when they're 15 and it's kind of in that awkward stage when you're kind of learning your new feelings for the opposite sex. It's a very cute little TV show of like just growing up and finding yourself. And I really enjoyed watching it through the seasons because I didn't have to wait for the next episode, which is nice. I like just binge watching. That's always nice. One of my first TV shows I actually just binge watched before Netflix. Before that became normal. Yeah, it was one of the first teen shows I ever really liked. I really enjoyed it. Like, I loved watching Dawson and Joey and Pacey and also the other girl, I can't remember her name, as they grew up, and it was nice being able to watch that, binge watch it through her seasons, and it's still nostalgic for me. And one of the things that really nostalgic is a theme song because it just hits home. But also, like these CW shows, they have songs throughout every episode, and it's just nice to hear those songs again and again because it is nostalgic just to listen to it.
I don't wanna wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, who will it be?
So good. Oh my god, I just love it so much, and it hits my heartstrings every time that song comes on. It's from A Time of a Good Place. We talked about a lot of TV shows, and this is the very last one, but again, I just love stories, and I love seeing all these like developments of people and stuff, and like I love books, and I just absolutely loved being able to experience that through the words. But again, started to know stories and fall in love with stories before I fell in love with books. So again, this one is my absolute favorite like drama TV show, like absolute favorite. It's my all-time just perfect. Love it so much, and like it needed to end because it was kind of dragging on by the end of the series, but it was so very good and so many people liked it and I absolutely loved it. Again, it wasn't when I started, like when it was first coming out. I eventually did, like I started watching it as it was coming out eventually, but I didn't start that way. My sister, again, started watching it before I did, and I started really liking it after she got the seasons, and I was like, I wanted to watch this and see what all the fuss is about, and I fell in love with it. No matter how many other TV shows that come out, I think this one's going to be my absolute favorite drama series ever. Again, it's from CW, so you know it's good. But that would have to be One Tree Hill. My favorite, like my absolute favorite. I loved watching these characters grow up, and it was just so very good. Like so much drama, but it was just performed so very well. The writing was really good, the acting was very good, and everything just so good. Now, it's a TV show, so a lot of these things wouldn't actually happen in a small town like Tree Hill. It presented like it does, and I just love all the drama and all the things that happen. Like, so much emotion. Like, I cried in so many episodes. Like, I'm not gonna talk about some of these because if you haven't watched this, I want you to watch it yourself because this is the TV show you have to watch. It is so good, and I just love the theme song again, but I absolutely love all the characters. So like Peyton and Brooke and Nathan and Haley and the main character. I can't remember the main character's name. That is funny, I just can't remember his name. Oh my god. But the other Scott brother, just love them all. And it has a place in my heart. It does. So very good. My favorite show. I'm rewatching Dawson's Creek right now because I just been feeling that nostalgia. That's why I actually started wanting to do this video and talk about these, but I'm also planning on rewatching One Tree Hill too. So that's going to happen very, very soon. Okay, but that is it for my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm hoping you guys enjoy this video. It's not about books, but it still talks about stories and stuff, so I'm hoping this was still satisfactory, and maybe you guys can relate to some of the nostalgia through these TV shows and one movie series thing. Yeah, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below all the movies, TV shows, books, or whatever makes you feel nostalgic. I would love to know because nostalgia is great. It reminds us of a better time, and I just like it. I just love it so much. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Check out my other social media accounts, my Facebook, Twitter, and Goodreads. I make a video every Thursday, and I'll see you guys next video.